welcome to my 7th day of the 12 days of carry. We have a crazy storm going on outside. 2 trees fell in our backyard. There's a lot of wind, a little bit of rain, and it looks like it's gonna be going on all day. It started last night and it's not letting up. I'm just praying no trees fall on our house, and I'm so thankful we haven't lost power yet. So I know there's raindrops on the window, but that tree fell and one here fell. It's just really windy. The funny thing is I was thinking about going hunting this morning, and then last night when I looked at the weather, I decided that probably wasn't gonna happen. And these two are getting a little restless because they've been stuck inside all morning. It's almost noon. Maybe we'll play a little indoor fetch. Yeah, he wants to do that. Just praying none of these trees fall on our house. Wow. Amazing though, isn't it? They could do this all day long. So I don't know if the grocery stores are open today, but I was planning on doing my meal prep and grocery shop today. Back when I lived in Brighton, which is more of a city, I did not have to worry about trees falling on my house. And now, that's a real concern. So I've just been praying for God to protect our house from this storm. And I'm just really thankful we still have power. I woke up so tired this morning. I've not been sleeping as much as I should be. And I can get away with a couple nights with like 5 hours of sleep, but beyond that, I can really feel it. But last night, I got my video uploaded right before midnight, and I have yet to miss having a video up every day for my 12 days of carry. This is the 3rd year I'm doing it, so I couldn't miss it. I had to get a video up even though it was late. If there's anything you guys want to see or you want me to talk about in the next 5 days, please let me know in the comments, and I'll see if I can fit in whatever you guys are asking for. So I told you guys I'm simultaneously reading the Old and New Testament, so I think I'm gonna start in the Old this morning. I'm still in 2nd Chronicles. I still have quite a few chapters to go before I finish 2nd Chronicles. I use Max glasses for reading sometimes because the notes at the bottom of my study Bible, the font is really tiny. Something I started doing this year is writing down prayers. So the last few years I've just gotten a notebook from like TJ Maxx or Marshall's, and I write the year on it, so I have a notebook for every year. They don't all have prayers in them. In fact, I didn't start writing down prayers till like this year. The other ones are just journals and thoughts and notes. But I started writing down prayers, and I think it's important because a lot of the times I'll talk to God about something and then I forget that we talked about it, and he'll answer it, either a yes, a no, or a not yet, and I'll forget about it. When I write down my prayers, I have a way to look back and say, wow, he did answer that. And there are a lot of prayers that I've written down this year that he has answered. And so I think it's just a cool way to reflect and have like a physical thing I can read to remember what I talked to God about. It also helps to see like what I was focusing on at the beginning of the year versus what I'm focusing on now. And that's just a good way to see your growth and how your relationship with God has been evolving over the year. So that's something I've been doing this year, and I'm definitely going to continue doing it because it's just a great way to remember. All right, the dogs and I are here to pick up a boy from school, and this storm has been crazy. I honestly can't remember wind like this in forever. There's twigs and branches everywhere. We had 2 trees fall down that I think I showed you guys, and it's just been crazy. I'm so thankful though that our house is okay and we didn't even lose power, which is very unusual. I was prepared to lose power. Mila, is Ryan coming? Where's Ryan? Oh my goodness, we're so excited. We know that name. Yeah, we do. All right. Okay guys, I had big plans to go to the grocery store and all that today, but this storm has road closures all over the place. So instead, Mac is here and we're gonna show you all of our hunting gear. This is my bow. It is the Bowtech Eva Shockey Gen 2. I got this bow 2 years ago. It was an upgrade from the first bow I ever got, which was a Matthews Craze 2. It was very much a beginner bow. It was so much smaller than this. Like when I hold this now next to my old bow, it just looks so much bigger. But I love this bow. I always say when I shoot it that it feels like I'm cheating because it's just so smooth.
It's super quiet. It's very fast. It's a huge upgrade from the Craze, which is what she had. And accuracy is improved.
Yeah.
Improved accuracy, improved noise, and noise matters. In archery, it matters.
Yeah. I also have a Tacticam on it, which sometimes I remember to turn it on if there's a deer in front of me.
I never remember to turn it on.
He has one too, but
I've never used it once. I turned it on once.
I have videos of deer that I got with my Tacticam. So just a disclaimer, we're showing you our bows, but that doesn't mean that this is the bow that you should get if you're looking for a bow, because they're all gonna feel, it's like a gun. You have to try out a few different ones before you can figure out what feels best to you. So when I was looking for a new bow, you were also looking for a new bow. So we were trying out bows at the same time, and the day I found this, you also found your upgrade bow, which is?
Oh, so I shoot a Prime, I don't think it's going to fit on the camera, it's big. A Prime Nexus 6.
It is big.
It's quite a bit. It's quite a bit larger than hers. So, big. Relatively heavy bow. This Prime bow has been great for me. My last bow was also great for me. So I don't want to say one's better. I had a Hoyt prior to this and I was super happy with my Hoyt. The biggest reason I went with the Prime is I was just into it. Like I just researched it online and I just kind of, I was just really excited about getting a Prime for some reason, and I'm not upset with my decision at all. But one thing that I will say about Prime is they send you new strings every 2 years. So for life. So I essentially never have to buy strings. And that's pretty cool.
So this is the shotgun that I hunted with this year.
It's a Remington 1187 youth model. And because she's small.
It's a youth model. It's a 20 gauge.
They might market it at, yeah, it's a 20 gauge. It's a semi-automatic.
Comfortable to shoot.
It is a fantastic shotgun for us. It has been great. It's been reliable and it's gotten the job done no matter what. We use it for 3 things. So she uses it for pheasant hunting, and the barrel that she has on now has a choke system so you can replace chokes. We have improved, modified, and extra full for turkey, so we can use it for turkey hunting. We can use it for pheasant hunting, which she has shot a pheasant. Should we zoom in on the pheasant?
So this is a pheasant that I shot with that shotgun. My first and only so far pheasant. And Mila actually helped me get it, so.
Turkey, pheasant, any small game. And then what we do is we also use it for a home defense shotgun, which I'll show you in a second. And then she also hunts deer with it. When we deer hunt, we put this barrel on, and it has a mounted Nikon scope on it that's on there all the time. What I would recommend to you, and if you're brand new or you only have a few guns, this is probably not a big deal, but as you get into owning more firearms, always label your gear. So if we show you any other guns, you'll see they're all labeled with what yardage zero they are and what ammunition to be used. And this is a perfect example of why it's super important. This particular shotgun barrel shoots the Remington AccuTip slug like insanely accurate. It's perfect. It's like a rifle. It is so accurate and great, and it works good, and the terminal ballistics so far on deer have been great. However, many other slugs that we've tried do not shoot accurately, even acceptably accurately, out of this. So if you get a rifled barrel, you have to shoot multiple different types of ammunition to figure out which one shoots best, because this gun really likes Remington. It's okay on the Browning. You have to toy with your barrels until you figure out which one shoots best. But that's what we use for shotgun season. When it's not shotgun season, we put the bird barrel back on and we use it as a home defense weapon. It's one of our home defense weapons. So we just put the side saddle on there, and then you have, basically use number 2 or number 3 buckshot, sometimes number 4, depending on what we have in stock. But I believe it's number 3 on there right now, and that is a home defense weapon then.
Multi-purpose.
So one gun gets a lot done for you if you get the right one.
Okay, this is the muzzle loader that I use, still muzzle loader season, this year. It's a CVA Wolf. Really comfortable to shoot. It's an inline muzzle loader, so they're easy to clean.
They're so much easier to work with, but
it's not like a traditional muzzle loader, which is what he likes, which is fine.
So I like that you use that.
I like it.
I can't use that.
But he doesn't use it. What do you use?
And there's nothing wrong with it. Like it's just like my cousin, who is like probably one of my, if not my closest, one of my closest relatives, hunting partner, fishing partner.
Hi, Jimmy.
Yeah, he's strict about what you can and can't use. He's got a very strong opinion. So he says that's blasphemy for not using a proper actual primitive firearm during primitive arms season, which it is called primitive arms season. And he can say that with complete and total conviction because he more often than not, also hunts with a standard recurve. No sights. He's traditional, and he gets deer great with that. He's got extremely great capability with every weapon system I've ever seen him handle. I do use a compound, so I can't make that argument. I'm using a modern compound bow during archery season, so why can't I use an inline? And the truth is,
I think you can.
Of course I can. I'm not allowed.
But he might disown you.
I can't ruin my family relationships. I can't show a picture of any deer.
My family has no opinion on muzzle loaders, so I can hunt with this.
So this year I'm using, I think it's at Connecticut Valley Arms as well. It's called a Frontier. It's a 50 caliber muzzleloader. I have yet to harvest a deer ever with this, so that's this year. But what I want to show you is a couple things, just like I told you earlier. Very important to know what your ammunition is. So that's what that is, and Stav has it written. I just took a Sharpie and wrote it right on Stav's stock. You know, your tape, whatever, just write them directly on. You can use some sort of paint thinner to clean it if you need to, but you've got to remember exactly what works best. You have to know what works best, which bullet works best, which powder works best. All of it matters. So when you get a new firearm, shoot many different types of ammunition through it and figure out which one works best. And then don't forget. So like my 30-30 has a very specific, you know, cartridge that I use. Your 7mm 08, we use a very specific cartridge. Once you learn what your gun likes best, stick with it.
So we're not going to show you our entire outfits, but we do want to talk about some things that we really like that we wear when we go out hunting. So for me, I always like to wear like a beanie style hat rather than a ball cap, though I do have a ball cap. And you'll see in all my hats, I've ripped a hole so that I can stick my hair through it. For years, up until this year, I kind of started doing this. My hair would be like bunched up at the nape of my neck because it didn't fit inside my hat. And then like every time I turned my head when I was hunting, it was very annoying. So this is just a quick solution that I found. Just cut a hole in your hat. And one of my subscribers was so sweet, and she made me this hat that has a space here so I can put my ponytail or my bun wherever I want it on my head. So that was really sweet because I mentioned this problem that I had. Do your hats have holes in them for your hair? For face masks, I have this thin one that my sister got me. I think she just got it for me as like a winter thing before I even started hunting, but it happens to be a pretty good pattern. And recently I got this one from DSG that I really like. It's fleece on the inside and it just covers me up like till here. And it's so warm and cozy. And then my gloves, where do we get these? The Army Navy store?
Those are old, like,
these are just issued, like wool Army Navy surplus gloves that were like $9. And they're really warm. These are the best ones that I've taken out there, so these get the job done.
I'll give you one tip too. You know, I offer to take my sons hunting with me all the time, and almost every time they say no, but every once in a while they say yes. And I kind of made the mistake when they were younger of buying them hunting clothes, and then they didn't use them, so then they end up going away. They grow out of them. So this is just something, if you have someone in your life that's may or may not come with you. Very simple blanket that you'd get at Bass Pro Shop, like for the couch, and I just cut that hole in it. So what you can do, even on me it works, you can just throw it
It's like Clint Eastwood.
You could throw it over your head.
Hey,
And
Clint.
you can see you could take someone hunting with you, and you just have one set, and you can have them sit there and hunt with you, regardless of their pants. I just wouldn't wear blue jeans. But this is super simple. It can go over any outfit that someone has, and they can come with you. It also can work as another barrier when it's real cold out to keep you warm.
Okay, this is probably one of my favorite hunting accessories that I ever bought. Okay, so it's a hand muff that goes around my waist, and you can just stick your hands in it while you're sitting in a tree stand, and it keeps them so warm because the inside is this like soft, it's not fleece, but it's like this soft material. So what I usually do is I'll put a couple hot hands in here, like these. I stick them in there, and then while I'm sitting in the tree stand, I just have my hands in this thing, and it keeps them so warm because my hands get cold so easily, and this really solved the problem for me. I don't have an issue with my hands anymore. I could stay up there all day when I have the hot hands and this and my gloves. My feet are another issue.
Oh, okay.
But my husband bought me these boots for Christmas last year. He got me these boots. They're mucklucks, and they're made in Minnesota, and if you call this company for like a customer service question, a real person answers the phone, and they're very helpful. So these have been keeping my feet very warm. They have like an extra insole you can stick in them, and these have made quite a difference this year. And I also want to mention this thing here because it's just a little clip, but this has also made a huge difference in keeping my hands warm because it clips to my bow. I'll put a picture here of what it looks like when it's on my lap, but I use it to hold my bow so that I don't have to hold my bow, and I can stick my hands in that hand muff and keep them nice and warm until I see a deer, and then I can take my hands out, and it just comes, the bow comes off this clip really easily. It doesn't make any noise, and this has just been a lifesaver. It was $20, which seems a little expensive for what it is, but it gives me a lot of value, and I've been using this for a few years now, and I love it. Okay, next I want to show you guys my harness because I'm a smaller person, and the harnesses that like come with tree stands and stuff, those generic harnesses, just didn't work on me. They're a pain to get it to fit, and so I got this one from Hunter Safety System that is designed for women. It's like a vest, so it's so easy to just put it on. I can just put it on like a vest, and then I clip it around my legs, clip it around my waist, zip it up, and that's it. And the strap is just right here, so I can clip in to the tree stand, and it's really easy to put on. This was kind of pricey, but again, I use it all the time, and I think it's worth it because it fits me perfectly.
I just use a simple muddy. I got one for me and one for the boys. They come in different sizes, and I haven't had to test it yet. I haven't fallen out of a tree yet. I shouldn't say that, but the next thing. Seems like it does the job though. So
as far as what I bring into the tree stand with me, I use this hand muff, and it has a lot of pockets, like 1, 2, 3 in the front, and then 1 in the back as well, and I can stick stuff in that big part too. So I usually have with me a deer collar. This is the extinguisher. I have my rangefinder, which is a SIG rangefinder. It looks like this, and it works really, really well. This is, oh, it's called the Kilo 1-800-80X.
So the Kilo 80X.
I bring a flashlight. This is a PowerTac flashlight. I have a discount code for PowerTac if you guys want to get one, but I like these flashlights a lot. So Mac uses the Valor, which takes batteries, and mine is the E9R G4. They have so many different ones on there, all different sizes. Mine is rechargeable. They both have little clips, so you can clip them somewhere, and they're really, really bright. Yours doesn't have settings, does it?
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
So when you turn them on, I think mine has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has 5 brightness settings.
It says 4.
Okay, and his has 4, so they're extremely bright. We also use these to walk the dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is my headlight, and this is actually, fun fact, the first thing that Mac ever bought me. You remember?
I'm a real romantic.
The only thing is that it has this like red X. I don't know if you can see it on camera. It has a red X. If somebody knows what that's for, please tell me, because I have no clue. And ever since he bought this for me, we've been wondering. So it has a red X. I can turn that off and just have a light, but if you know what that's for, please tell me. This is the brand Defiant.
Yeah.
And I've had this for years, so I have this too. Usually I use a headlamp rather than a handheld flashlight when I'm hunting.
And I don't like headlamps. I don't like them I like having them when I'm gutting a deer, but everything else, because I don't want all that flashlight movement when I'm moving around. I keep my light low to the ground, so I'm just illuminating where I walk, so that I'm not sending a white beam of light all the way around through the woods. So, something to think about as well. Scent control is pretty important for archery hunting because you spend a lot of time really close to the animal. So what we do is we do a couple things. First off, we use
fragrance-free Dove.
We've used hunting soap every other year. This is the first year we use this, but it's less expensive and it's much nicer on your skin. So I think that we're permanently switching to this. But scent-free soap, scent-free shampoo, scent-free conditioner. You used to use...
I used to use scent-free shampoo and conditioner, but it kind of destroys your hair if you have like long hair and you care about your hair. Well, it wouldn't matter for you.
It was like just for does?
Yeah.
I liked it on my hair.
It was fine. I'll use those hats that have a hole in them, and then I put my face mask above like my bun or my ponytail, whatever's sticking out, so it holds my hair in. It's not exposed.
Deodorant or antiperspirant. This is I think called Dead Downwind. Yeah, it seems to work fine. And then we also use a wind indicator. Understanding the wind and respecting the wind and knowing that you can't beat the wind. You'll never beat a deer's nose is very important. So this tells you exactly which way the wind's going. Basically, you just give it a little pop. I won't do too much in the house, but then you watch with that little...
It blows. It almost looks like baby powder.
Yeah, it's like shooting baby powder, and then you get to see exactly the way it blows. And knowing the wind is super important to hunting deer in particular. I brush my teeth with straight baking soda on hunting mornings and hunting afternoons if I have a chance. So it's just straight baking soda to get, I don't want any minty scents coming out of my mouth. That's what I use there as well. And the other thing is we hang our gear outside starting in, I'd say, August or September. We just leave our gear outside where we're trying to get like natural scent on it or any type of home scent off it. So they're just hanging outside. We try to bring them in for the rain, but after every hunt, I leave my stuff outside. I'll bring it in a few hours before I go hunting to dry it or heat it in the wood stove room. Otherwise, my stuff stays outside where I'm hoping it just absorbs the scent of the wilderness and not my house scent. A lot of people use scent-free bags and bins and all this stuff. Stav uses a bin, so she puts all her stuff in the bin because she can't. I don't want my
stuff getting cold.
Or buggy.
The beginning of the season, we had all our stuff hanging up outside. And I put my first item of clothing on, and there were like 3 stink bugs in it. And then every other item, I'd shake it out, and a bunch of stink bugs would fall out. So that's when I decided no more outside for me. I put it all in a bin, and it's been there ever since.
By the way, I've been keeping my stuff outside for almost, many years, many years, and this was the first time that ever happened.
It was so
This
gross.
year was just crazy for stink bugs.
Yeah, we had a lot of stink bugs.
But I was shaking a bunch of them out of my gear too, and I'd never had to do that before, and it really bothered her. So. One other thing is just 2 pieces of gear that I think are great for having available pre-hunting season primarily, and then you can go from there. I like Fiskars products. For the money, I'm a huge fan of Fiskars products. They're really great. But we could trim up branches and make shooting lanes especially for archery. This is important. So when you go out there and you put your tree stand in and you start thinking about where the deer are going to be, where you hope they're going to be, you need to get an arrow through there without hitting anything. You can't even hit like a little branch. So you want to make sure you have some clear shooting lanes. Don't go overboard. You don't want it to be a field. You want to have just shooting lanes, and you have to be patient for the deer to step into those lanes. But having some type of capability where you can go out there and trim your lanes and make sure they're all set is a great thing. If you're really doing it in pre-hunting season, you can use, electrical stuff. You can use like a chainsaw or something like that. But for hunting season, for maintaining, you want quiet stuff. So those are important. And we actually use this as part of our butchering and gutting procedure as well. Yeah. So this comes in many different ways. But if you want to talk about your knives.
So this was the knife that I'd usually bring out with me. Matt bought me this knife. It's a Rapala. I also used this a lot when we would field dress our deer. This was a very affordable knife.
Oh, it's cheap.
What is it, like 20 bucks?
If that. It's fantastic. For the money, that thing's crazy good. I have one as well.
Yeah, right here.
Oh, there it is.
We have matching knives. So I usually have this clipped right onto my hand muff, so I take this with me every time.
I used a soldering iron. I burned our names.
Hold on.
Into it.
Okay. Yeah. Then this year, Buck Knives sent us a couple knives to test out. So this is the Packlight processor, and this is the Packlight field knife. So you can see they both look very similar, but they're a different knife. I'm gonna take this one out. So this is the field knife, and that's the processor. You can see the difference in the blades.
And the handles are
They're
skeleton.
very light, yeah. We got orange in case we drop them somewhere so we can find them easily. And these have been working great. We've used them on a few deer, 4, 5 deer this year.
Enough to know that I originally loved this knife. This was my jam. I thought this was fantastic. By the way, just side note, Stab did stab me with this.
I did, just a little.
By mistake. But I'm a big fan. I didn't think I'd like it that much, but it's well designed. Like, way to go, Buck. I didn't realize how much I'd like where the thumb stuff and the finger. It really worked well. So I'm not happy with their sheaths. Both their sheaths to me are garbage, but their knives seem great. I'm really happy with their knives.
Then we have this guy. What is this called? It's by Lone Wolf.
I had it before I met you.
Lone Wolf Knives. Yeah, Mac has
Which you can't find anymore. Like, I don't even know if that company exists anymore.
Yeah. So this is designed to get right underneath the deer's skin so that you don't poke a hole in any internal organs while you're
so it's not sharp
cutting it open. Yeah. So this side is not sharp, but this side is. So when you're going up inside the deer, you don't poke any of the internal organs. We use that every deer.
Every deer. It's just a fantastic tool. And it's a fixed blade. If you choose to not use fixed blade knives, it's fine. I know a lot of people that do, but just remember, blood, fat, and pieces of the deer get into the mechanism of the knife, and you have to make sure you do a really good job cleaning it in between animals. I use all fixed blade knives because it's just so much easier to clean. This is called the butt out tool. This I don't know, this bothers style.
It works well. But
it works great. It's a good tool to have. You don't need one. You can do it the old-fashioned way, but you have to, you know, you could probably be better off if you just look this up. I don't need to get into all this, but it is a very handy-dandy little tool that we have. So
I'll try to link everything we talk about down below in case you guys want to get any of these items. Mac loves keeping bread bags.
I use it more for the dogs, but you need to have bread bags.
And for pheasants.
A good sized bread bag, and I actually like this size a little bit better. It's a little bit fatter.
Yeah.
That's where you put all of the organs. So a big bread bag will allow you to get your heart and your liver and your kidneys if you should decide to field dress your deer in the woods, which is what most people do.
And then also this orange tape. We use this if we're tracking a deer. You put one wherever you see a drop of blood, and you can make like a path when you're tracking a deer so you don't lose the path that it's on.
One more thing I forgot to mention is I have a rope I've been using for basically my entire hunting career. And what you might need a rope for is to drag deer out of the woods, or to drag them into where you can pick them up. So many of your vests and different tree stands might come with a drag strap, and that works fine. I just like how long this is, because if I can get some help from either my boys or from Stav, it's easier to drag it with 2 people than it is with one. So there's a lot of room for multiple people to grab this rope and drag it out. So make sure you have a way of dragging an animal out. You can grab a buck by the antlers, and that's fine, but does are a little bit difficult to grab. So a rope or some sort of drag strap, you're gonna need that.
You also use it when you put ice in the deer, right?
I do. I use this for a whole bunch of things. I wrap the deer with this thing sometimes. It's just, you know, I guarantee you it smells just like deer. And
that's why the dogs like it so much.
It's just, I keep using the same piece of gear, even though I've gotten new ones and drag straps, all that stuff. I just always liked this particular
Just a basic rope, your magic rope. Okay guys, I don't think we have anything else going on for the rest of the night, so I'm gonna close out this video. I'm pretty sure it's long enough anyway. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about any of our hunting gear, or if we didn't talk about anything you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 8 of my 12 days of carry. Stay safe. Bye!